As you read this, know that you are the most amazing person I have ever met. Our life together will bring joy, happiness, and triumph and troubles. However, I know that the happiness will be forever. Shelby Ashley Smith, now Strawman, you are the love of my life. Everything I have done and will do is for you and for us. I love you to the moon and back, forever and always, to infinity and beyond.
I belong.
John, today's the day. I'm so excited, from dating to falling in love to getting engaged. You have been my rock. I can't wait to be Miss Shelby Strawman. You are my world. In a few hours, I'll be your wife. I'll see you soon. I'll be in white. Love, Shelby.
Oh, my love. Oh, my love. Oh, play it on like a song. This is where I belong. This is where we belong.
So often when we think of marriage, we think of two individuals romantically infatuated with one another, promising to spend their life together, but that's only somewhat accurate. There's so much more that goes into marriage. There's the love that others have made them, that have given to them, that's made them who they are today. There's the friends that have facilitated the growth of their relationship. And perhaps most of all, there's God, who first loved them, showing them and growing them to love one another. So as we enjoy that and celebrate that, I would like to read from Ephesians chapter 5. In Ephesians 5, Paul is talking to the church, and in doing so, he's trying to give some basic instructions to Christian life. And so to do that, he talks a little bit about relationships and marriage. So in chapter 5, starting in verse 25, Paul writes this: "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself to her to make her holy, cleansing her with the washing of water by the word. He did this to present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or anything like that, but holy and blameless. In the same way, husbands are to love their wives as their own bodies. For he who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hates his own flesh, but provides for it and cares for it, just as Christ does for the church." See, Paul has two focuses here. Of course, there's the focus of marriage, but that is built upon the foundation of Christ's love for us. It's through the understanding of Christ's love for us that we understand our love for one another, particularly in the marriage relationship. So with that being said, I think there's a few key things that God points out through Paul to us about how Christ loved us. First, Christ showed us our imperfections. Verse 26 in Ephesians 5 explains that it's Christ who made us holy and cleansed us. That implies that outside of our Savior, we're broken and lost. Jesus lived a perfect life, and in doing so, showed us just how imperfect we are. Marriage likewise will reveal imperfections. I can speak for Shelby knowing her. I don't know if I can speak for John. But just so you both know, I know as positive and great as this day is, you need to go ahead and know that as you spend more time together, as you live together, you will begin to realize that you both have imperfections. But don't let that dissuade you. Because Paul goes on to say that Christ offered a relationship despite our imperfections. Romans 5:8 explains that Christ died for us while we were still sinners. Jesus offered a relationship even when we, in our imperfection, didn't deserve it. At the cross, Jesus gave up his perfection that we can have a relationship with him. Marriage, again, is similar. Although neither of you are perfectly like Christ, You each have offered and will offer your love, support, care, and comfort despite your imperfections. There will be times that you will have to give forgiveness, and there will be times that you need forgiveness. Remember how you are forgiven by God in these times. Next, Paul explains that Christ grows us beyond our imperfections. Paul explains that Christ's care, he cares for us, and how he not only forgives us, but has made us holy. The idea is that Christ develops us, changes us. He grows us beyond our imperfections. See, that's what marriage is all about. God didn't design marriage to compete with himself, but rather to point us to himself. You now have the chance to be a part of that with one another, to work on your imperfections together, that you can grow closer to Christ and closer to one another. With that being said, I give you 3 pieces of advice. Remember Christ, know Christ, and live more like Christ. Remember his love and his care and his forgiveness for you. Know what he's done in his sacrifice for you, and replicate that sacrifice, that service, that care, and that forgiveness towards one another. So with that idea of love in mind, do you, John, take Shelby to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
To have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness or in health, until death do you part?
I do.
Do you, Shelby, take John to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness or in health, until death do you part?
I do.
Shelby and John have chosen to write their own vows, and so I would like to invite them to read those. However, so you can hear them, I'm going to give them a microphone. I will first hand you your vows. John, we'll begin with your vows.
Shelby, my love, I vow to honor and protect you, to love unconditionally, and to treat every day we have together as a gift. I vow to show kindness and compassion to you throughout the good and the bad, in sickness and in health, from this day to our last. I vow to love you to the moon and back, forever and always, and to infinity and beyond. I vow to always have a shoulder for you to lean on, an ear open to you, and eyes wide to see our struggles and triumphs. To this and more, I vow to be true to you and to us.
Shelby, if you will share your vows with John.
John Wesley Strawman III, I love you so, so much. You are my very best friend and the man of my dreams. I vow to love you on the good days, but more importantly, the bad. I vow to make you smile and laugh. I vow to encourage you and support you. I vow to listen when you speak and accept our differences as they arise. I vow to dream with you, celebrate with you, and walk with you wherever life takes us. I love you to infinity and beyond, forever and always, and to the moon and back. Forever I am yours.
Ben, if I may have the rings, I'll have you hold them up. You may already know this, but these rings are symbolic. They symbolize eternity and how they never end. They've been refined in fire, as your love will be refined and made more beautiful through the trying times. And so as you place these rings on each other's fingers, remember the symbols they represent and the love they represent. John, will you place this on Shelby's left-hand ring finger and repeat after me? With this ring,
I
seal my promise
promise
to be your faithful and loving husband,
to be your faithful and loving husband,
as God is my witness.
as God is my witness.
Shelby, as you remember the symbols that these rings represent, will you place this on John's left ring finger and repeat after me? With this ring,
I
seal my promise
to
be your faithful and loving wife,
as
God is my witness.
God is my witness.
John, Shelby, you've come before your family and friends. You've shared your vows of love and devotion and sealed those vows through the giving and receiving of rings. Therefore, it's my privilege and pleasure as your brother and as a minister of the gospel, and when authorized by the state of Tennessee, to pronounce you husband and wife. What God has put together, let no one separate. John, you may now kiss your bride.